From the mayor to State Rep Duran. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Well, hey, thanks for serving our country.
Oh, appreciate that.
Did
Thank
you take yesterday off, or did you?
No,
work?
I was around.
I was always wondered if veterans actually take the day off.
Oh, I think it's obviously. I think sometimes
everybody
it's a
else
little
does.
bit busier. Yeah.
Well, certainly busy. Mayor was talking about just one of them. I'm sure many you get poked and prodded and need the attention of all kinds of different directions.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we should have you figure out how many people and groups are asking for help or direction or support or did you know? Can you do?
All of them.
Yeah, it comes from all over the place, and obviously, the state of Minnesota has limited resources right now, just because we are looking at a $6 billion deficit. So we're trying to figure out how to control our own budget, let alone trying to help out everybody else. So that's a big concern right now. So we have to be very careful with making promises that we can't keep. Right? We got to, and I've talked to a lot of local elected officials here, and I look at them and say, we got to get creative. We have to think outside that box. We can't depend on the state of Minnesota right now because we're probably not going to get what we want. And it's terrible for me to tell you that, because my job, my ultimate goal is to make sure that the state of Minnesota comes in here and supports our community the way it should.
Right.
That's my whole goal, right? My whole obligation is to make sure that we're getting all the resources that we possibly can up in northern Minnesota from the state of Minnesota. So we just have to understand that we're going to be in a little bit of trouble here pretty soon.
Well, one could argue we're already there, but
Well, speaking of use of money, and you do see reports. So when I see the city's news stations and the networks, and it's probably been going on for about a month now, maybe longer. Maybe it's just for me, but some fraud that was in place for nonprofits and from food to autism centers. So what's done is done. Are you guys aware or part of how they are kept accountable in the future?
Yes, we do have the fraud committee that's chaired by Kristen Robbins right now. And all this stuff is being reviewed, and especially, the collaboration between state and federal agents right now is a big thing. So yes, there are federal agents looking into things. Not to get too political right now, but this fraud stuff was known for quite some time, and we have an AG that kind of turned his eye, just turned his head away from this stuff and didn't really pay attention to it or wanted to do anything about it. So Feeding Our Future was huge, right? Mm-hmm. $250 million. That's the biggest fraud in the United States, for one particular issue. And, you have the Attorney General on, recording with some of those individuals, that just happened to donate to his campaign.
Right.
So it's just, there's a big issue with trust with inside government, and this does not help at all.
True.
And so we're chipping away, and we're at the credibility of our agency, and now we're trying to turn this back around. So people need to start realizing that we need to make a big change, and that change may be a change in the administration on the state level.
We'll have to vote that way.
Yep.
So that's and there's always been a fraud committee.
No, the Democrats actually fought us, fought the Republicans pretty hard. The Republicans wanted to initiate a fraud committee right away, right when the biennium started, and they actually pushed back on us. They didn't want it. They didn't believe that it was necessary and didn't want to look at it. And then all of a sudden, when we had this fraud committee, everything just started kind of unfolding and seeing what's going on. So you have to think, well, why would the Democrats want to push back really hard on us for a fraud committee? Why would that be?
Well, pardon my ignorance here, but shouldn't have there been one since the state became a state?
Or at least in the 50s? Right? You'd think.
You would think. But the problem is that we're starting to get a lot more of these social programs out here, which it's making it a little bit more easier for these individuals to take advantage of it. And, it's pretty pretty tough because right now, if we take away a lot of these social programs, then you have a lot of people that are going to be suffering from
really need it.
That really need it.
That are not frauding there.
So so how do you work this? Where's that balance there? Because right now, if you just cut off all those social programs, we're going to drastically hurt our people here. Especially up in northern Minnesota, there are a number of social programs that are needed up here, and so
can't turn those off.
So, no, you can't turn them off. So you got to be really careful on how we manage this, right? And we have to set in places safeguards to stop some of the fraud, and that's and Governor Walz is, I guess, late to the game. Knee-jerk reactions of just cutting fundings off and not looking into things is actually the wrong way. We should be actually implementing some stop blocks inside these agencies to allow for this stuff to be uncovered right away. It's really tough because the governor doesn't want to do that because it might expose more, and it's only making it look worse for him.
Sure. And
then his own staff and everything just got in trouble by Office of Legislative Auditing. Did you guys read that?
Yep.
He can't even manage his own staff because they're getting in trouble with not spending the money the way it is and recording stuff the way it is. So at this point in time, people need to really look at the big picture here and just and wake up, look into things. Don't take my word for it. Fact check me. Start digging into this stuff, and I think people will start to realize that we're in a heck of a mess right now, and we need to come together as a community to actually fight some of this stuff.
Have you dealt with anything good?
Yeah. I'm sure there's good stuff that you work on, huh?
All the time. You just had Veterans Day and the Marine Corps birthday, so there's a lot of things that I went to and talked to about that. So 250th year for the Marine Corps birthday, so we had a nice little celebration at the Eagles on Monday, and it was really fun, good, really good. So, excuse me.
Yeah, I suppose you could spend your whole Veterans Day off speaking at events.
Yeah, so you get around a little bit, and it can get pretty busy, but you like to support the veterans, and I'm being a combat veteran myself, it just you got a lot of support for those individuals who serve for our country and want to make sure that you show them the respect and support that we can. So
what's coming up? Do you have to head back to the Capitol? Where are you at?
Well, I will be heading down to the Capitol next week just to kind of catch up on some paperwork and get some stuff done, talk to some people. But, we're gearing up for another campaign season. So
Already?
Yes. So that's kind of a big issue here as well. And, making sure we're putting everything in place. And, obviously there's a lot of people announcing for governor, and, we got some big list there on the Republican side, and Governor Walz is running for a third term again, so we'll see how all that works. But yeah, that's about it. Just trying to make sure we get everything winterized for the winter here, get the house all set up, and that's pretty much it.
Back at it. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
See you next second Wednesday
Absolutely.
of the month. Have a great Thanksgiving, too.
Thank you. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.